This is my Crimson Does an Impression video, and so far I got like 10 hours in the game. I like the game is really fun, but I know 100% this game is not for everybody. This game has no guidance at all in the sense of story. The story starts, and once it picks up, once they introduce the story and the characters, there's nothing that you do in the first 10 hours that guides you to the next point that leads you to the end of that story. There is absolutely no pacing when it comes to the story. You do the tutorial, you get to fight, and then you manage to get your first mechanics, you get a bunch of different skills. Then after that, you just spawn in a town and you're supposed to help the people in the town. You start helping cats, helping kids find sheeps. You clean a couple's chimney, go into a bar and you arm wrestle some guy. Like, there's a lot of random things that the game is asking you to do, basically like side missions for you to advance the main story, because the main story is non-existent so far. Like, the pacing in this game is atrocious, but the fighting and the gameplay is really good. There was a moment in the tutorial where they get you all the way up in the sky and you're supposed to fall down, and when you fall down you see the whole map and you're falling down and you spread your wings and you drop all the way down. That was impressive to me because I got to see the full map, and the map is huge. Sadly, talking about maps, this would be the reason why I don't recommend anyone buy this game on PS5 Pro. There's probably a fix for this, but I cannot recommend a game like this. I'm gonna show you a clip of what happens when I open the map. Alright, so I'm making a video just to confirm that this game is bugged out and glitched out. Every single time I try to traverse the map, it happened. It's confirmed. Yes, I cannot open my map to see anything. This is PS5 Pro, and this would be one of the reasons why I don't recommend this game right now. Yeah. And this is every single time. This was the last time I opened the map in my 10 hours. That was when I was on hour 7. I haven't opened my map ever. Thankfully, they give you a lot of points where you can go and just pick up whatever you got to pick up, do your own missions. You can do bounty hunting where you go into a poster, you find this bounty and you read what it says. It doesn't necessarily guide you to it, but if you read, you can find it. The first couple hours are pretty boring, honestly. Like, after you do the main tutorial where you start fighting and they teach you how to fight, it is very boring because there is no guidance for you to know what you're supposed to be doing. Like, yes, they tell you help the town people, and once you help them, you get stuff. Just go around and loot up and do whatever you want. That's basically it. There's no hand holding. You do whatever you want. That is cool. But there needs to be a motive. I know I'm probably not there. It's probably there. I'm gonna end up doing a review on the game. But so far, there is no motive. They just drop you on the world and they say, do missions, do side missions. This is basically like an MMO, single player game, where in MMOs, they just give you the most random side quests for you to farm XP. This is basically it. Every time you do a mission, you get something. Now, there is actually something very cool about the game. You get experience when you fight and when you loot, but while you're fighting, once you get the experience, you can go into your skill tree and buy one of the skills. Now, that is not the only way you actually get the skills. You can observe the enemies do a move and you can learn the move. And once you learn them, you can just do it. You don't have to spend money or XP or currency on any of the skills. As long as you're watching the enemy do it to you, you can learn it. That is amazing. The other thing that I noticed is that you could talk to like 98% of the people on the map. Like, all of the NPCs have something to say. Does it mean that it's something interesting? No. Does it mean that they're gonna give you a quest? No. But it makes the world feel a little alive. It is not interesting in the sense that they're gonna tell you, hey, go find me my cat. No, not every NPC is gonna give you a side quest. They can just say something random like, the day today is beautiful, or something like that. One cool thing that I really like is the fact that this game is actual open world. Like, every house that has a door, so far, every house that I've found that has a door, I can go into. And if I can't go into, it's because I need a key to open the door. And in most of those houses, there's vendors that I can talk to and get stuff. And this is impressive because when I hear open world, that's basically what I expect. If you're giving me an open world and you're putting a house, I want to go into the house to see what's there. And so far, every single place that I've gone to has something. Either a person that I can talk to, or a vendor, or something that I can get. So far, I got just my main weapon, which is the sword and the shield, but I can just not use that. I can basically just do punching, which is what I go for. Even though I have noticed that every time you block with your hands, you still take damage. So I'm assuming that you're supposed to dodge. Then eventually you're gonna unlock a skill that you actually perfect parry or you block without actually getting damage. Another thing that I really like about the game is how the hub looks. It is giving you the important things on the map. Yes, sometimes they give you the icons of the controller, but most of the time it's just the mini-map. You don't have anything else, so you can just look around and see everything. When you get into combat and someone does damage to you, then your health bar comes up and it's just so small that you don't really look at it because you don't really care about it, except for when you're really close to dying. I heard a rumor that in this world you can climb everything, and so far in the 10 hours that I've been playing, I have climbed everything that I see. Trees specifically, that impresses me. Sometimes games just do whatever you can break you cannot climb, or whatever you can climb you cannot break, and vice versa. This game, you can break all of the trees, you can climb all of the trees. Sometimes there's nests on the trees that you can climb and just pick it up for items. You can pick up cats from the ground. You can pet dogs. You can pick up raccoons. You can pet a bunch of animals. And as long as you're petting an animal multiple times, you can actually have that animal in your house or your farm, whatever you get. So far, I don't have a farm or anything. I just have a little tent on the outside. Every time I pick up something, it has the icon of the tent. So I'm assuming that every time I pick up those things, just random things like candles or apples, things, or maybe things that you can't eat, they go to the tent. So I am assuming that I'm gonna be able to build my own house, build my own farm, and just have a bunch of crap that I can have around, like a bunch of cats and cows and sheep and stuff like that. So when it comes to exploration and when it comes to immersion, the game is great. It is fun. The fighting is extremely fun. Sometimes there are moves that instead of you just pressing R1 to do a simple combo or R2 to do a heavy combo, you press triangle and 0 to grab onto someone and they just throw it. Then there's R1 and circle so you can do a kick. Like, there's a bunch of moves that you can do, and I know it's gonna get a lot more complicated because of how many weapons you get. And then on top of that, all of the weapons and the barehanded mode. So there's gonna be a lot of combos for you to learn and for you to mix and match. You can play the game however you want. That's basically the main point of the game. You play the game however you want. Whatever you want to do, you do. It doesn't guide you to do one specific thing. You want to jump into this world and do exploration, you go ahead. You want to talk to all of the NPCs, I don't know why you would want to do that, but you could. Sometimes there's an NPC that's going to give you a side quest. Sometimes there's not. All of that is great in the game. The game is really fun in that sense. But so far, there is no main story that I can say is interesting. So far, the main story is non-existent. The main character is extremely bland. There is nothing that's pushing me to do anything. It's just you go into the game, you do whatever you want. There's no main objective right now. There's also this little mechanic that they introduced that you get a hat, like a helmet. I don't know if this is a main quest that you're supposed to do or if this is something that you can just find randomly. But I found a helmet. I'm pretty sure it's a main quest because I found a helmet, and every side quest or every quest that I've done needs that helmet for you to understand what went around. So you put on the helmet and then you come out and you put your lamp out, and you see the little ghost of whatever happened. So once you have enough clues of what happened there, you put on this helmet, and the helmet basically plays what happened in that area. Now, the mechanic is cool. It shows you around, it shows you what happened. But if you're not paying a lot of attention to the game, this game can be extremely complicated when it comes to this mechanics. Like, for example, when it introduces a mechanic and it tells you, press L3 to crouch. It can also go ahead and tell you hold L3 to grab, to get this arm that grabs anything and you can move anything. Sometimes you're gonna get confused and just have to go into the tutorial to see what button was that button that they told you that gets the arm out for you to move anything. What button or what sequence of buttons is needed for you to take the helmet and put it on so you can see what happened in this area. Now, there is a way for you to get the helmet out immediately. And as I said, it is confusing, but it is there. So you take the lamp out after you get all of the clues. All you have to do is get all of the clues and then just press start. And he immediately puts on the helmet. And this is the reason why I'm saying that the game is confusing when it comes to the controllers. It's because one button can do multiple things. For example, Square is jumping. Square is also picking up. You have to hold square to pick up anything. Now, when you're in the air, square takes your wings out. So you're flying with square. That's not the only thing. When you press start, you're opening the main menu that has multiple small menus inside of it. That's not the only thing that does. When you have all of the clues and you press start, you open up the helmet menu, the thing where he immediately puts on the helmet. So it can conflict with what you're doing in the moment. You have to sometimes take the game a little slow because of how these buttons work and how confusing they might be. Another one that I can think of is triangle and circle grabs onto enemies so that you can throw them. Now, if you're right next to a branch or like a huge tree, you can press and hold triangle and circle so that you grab onto that tree instead of the player, the NPC. And after you do that, you have to hold X to speed up. The fact that you're having that tree with the powers that you have is a little confusing explaining it. But as you play it, it's also confusing because of how weird the controller layout is and how the combinations of the buttons are laid out. Now, that is only confusing, I think, because I only have 10 hours in the game. I'm gonna be able to play this game, and probably in 30 hours of the game, I'm gonna be a master at doing specific things. Like, it's just gonna be muscle memory. I understand that. But sometimes there's people that don't wanna play a game that's too complicated. And this game is that type of game. This game is very complicated when it comes to the controller layout and also the puzzles. This game sometimes is not easy. Some enemies are very easy to kill, but I've come across some bosses that are gonna kick your ass. It doesn't matter how good you are. Like, they're aggressive. Not only that, there's also some puzzles that you're gonna have to look up. Like, yes, you can be smart enough to figure it out, but do you wanna spend the time and resources of you just sitting there thinking about how am I gonna solve this instead of just looking it up? I really like how the game looks, and the open world looks great. I understand that this game looks really good. This is an Unreal Engine 5 game, and most Unreal Engine games look extremely similar. For this game specifically, it looks great, but everything just looks so white, so bland. I've tried multiple things on the gamma, I've tried multiple things on the contracts, and everything just looks so bright and white. There's also what I normally consider an annoyance, and is when you're inside a room and you come out, there's a huge amount of bloom that blinds you every time you go out. It is almost in every game now. Every game that's on Unreal Engine, I don't know, that's an issue to me, but this game has it as well. Overall, I am having a lot of fun, but I cannot say that this game is perfect. It is not. This game, it is very flawed. I cannot recommend this game right now because if I am having issues opening my map on the PS5 Pro, I know for a fact there's other issues out there, but personally, that's the only issue I've had. Actually, I've had another issue where I'm supposed to do a puzzle and it doesn't tell me what the puzzle is. How did I know that I was supposed to do that puzzle specifically? Because my friend is playing the game at the same time I'm playing it. And I told him that he was gonna have a hard time solving that puzzle. 10 minutes later, he tells me, yo, where are you? I did this puzzle already. I'm like, how did you do it? And he sends me a recording of the game. And in the recording of the game, there's a ghost telling him how to do the puzzle. I did not have that ghost. I had to reload my save 10 minutes back, resetting my progress twice just so that I can get the ghost that can tell me how to progress the puzzle. I couldn't do the puzzle without the ghost telling me how to do it because I was doing the exact same thing my friend was doing and he showed me on videos and it wasn't working. You need the ghost to be able to tell you how to do the puzzle, and if it's not there, the game is bugged. But those are the only two things that has happened to me in this game when it comes to bugs. I've had pop-ins here and there. They're not a major issue. They're not constant, but they are there. Like, the game is not perfect. I would say that the game does need a little more optimization because the performance, the balance, and the quality mode are very different. Like, the performance mode on PS5 Pro looks really bad when it comes to the NPC's faces. The balance mode looks really good, but FPS, I've noticed that they drop a little too consistent, and then the quality mode looks beautiful, but there's ghosting on the movement. Every time you move, I've seen the ghosting. It's probably my TV, I'm not entirely sure, but I have to say it because this doesn't happen in any other game. Overall, the package is really good. The package is really fun so far. As my first impressions, this game is fun. This game is really good, but it is not a perfect game. It is not a 10 out of 10 a masterpiece. No, I am going to say that everything they have said about the game, everything that you can do in the game, it is true. Everything they said on all those trailers is true. There's no false marketing here. But there's also a lot of issues when it comes to the game that you cannot turn a blind eye on. But anyways, if you have Crimson Desert, what do you think about the game? Have you had any issues? Do you think it's a 10 out of 10? Do you think it's a 7 out of 10? Do you think it's fun? Do you think it's bad? Tell me what you think on the comments below.